Good morning, everyone. My name is Robert T. Green. I'm the CEO of Pre-Post Game, also known as the Players Rep, here to educate and empower, protect the athlete and the family's best interest and their best interest alone. Today is Monday, April the 23rd, around 8 a.m., and it's draft week, NFL draft week. I know you guys are driving to work. So again, I'm going to ask that you guys, as you know, my mantra is sports is not a game, it's all business. I'm going to share some real important information with you right now, because at the end of the day, what I try to do every year before a draft, no matter if it's NBA, NFL, or MLB, just to really educate you on what's going on in the world of sports, because it's a business, it's not a game. And for these young, unimpressionable, uninformed parents and athletes, or those that want to work with athletes, I have to really help you guys understand where we at in the world today in 2018. For those of you that continue to, I can talk about the winning recipe regarding success for an athlete, long-term succession and transition. The fact of the matter is the failing recipe for the players and their families is the same winning recipe for the coaches, NCAA, service providers, and the sports industry. So for those that continue to preach, trust the process, God's plan, focus on everything, focus on the game and everything take care of itself, you are setting up these kids to fail. Success rate for these actual athletes that follow those type processes will be 0 to 5% long term. The fact of the matter is that for those of you guys that are old like I am, remember a show called Popeye, and there's a guy named Wimpy used to say all the time, I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. Essentially meaning like, well, you give me something and in return, I'll give it to you later. No Fortune 100 or 500 companies ever been successful using that mantra. Nor will you ever see a business portfolio, a value proposition, a business plan that says on it, hey, you should sign with me because I want you to trust this process. You're never going to hear somebody say, you know what, the reason why I'm providing this investment portfolio for you because it's God's plan. The fact of the matter is every single person that steps in your living room in your house or to come to your school to recruit you, to want to become part of the work for you, work with you, is because they have a business model that's going to work and basically perfect their actual business, not yours. Again, in the world we live in sports today, in particular NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB, they have what you call a rookie wage scale. So a lot of the answers to the test is already there. But again, the athletes or the people around athletes that are pushing them in certain directions don't proceed to get that information to really educate them on their best needs and interests. The fact of the matter is you never hear any formal professional athlete, successful or non-successful, preaching any of these same principles. None. You never will, because they all know God's plan. God's plan is saying, hey, I have an opportunity to get education. I have an opportunity to use resources to figure out certain things. I need to do it. Not to sit back, again, not to get spiritual, but the Bible also says faith without works is dead. So sitting back, waiting for somebody who basically wants to walk in your shoes or walk with you while you walk to get to that point. And that's the point. I'm not here to try to make friends. I'm not here to try to appease people's feelings and make it feel nice and cuddly. The fact of the matter, we do this whole topic about, like I said, this is what you need to know, not what you want to hear. Sports is a game. It's not a game. It's all business. For example, the NFL draft is coming up for this April 25th to 28th. It's a new beginning for me, for some, but it's also the end for most. And they don't even aware of that. A little nugget, and again, I'm going to be doing a regular weekly podcast on African American Athlete Radio Talk Show podcast, sponsored by African American Athlete, presented by Pre-Post Game with host Ricky Hampton. If you guys haven't tuned in to the African American Athlete Radio, you can go right now to your Facebook page and go to the THEAF AM athlete and turn on your notifications. I'll be going on factual business information. For example, how many athletes that are, again, for example, I'm African American, how many African American athletes actually graduate that play in the Power 5 conference? I'm going to go into real statistical facts, and the number is 25%. So once again, for those that are proponents of not to pay the players and say it's free education, is nothing free. And actually the education that those that are getting, for example, the draft is coming up now, every top rated athlete that literally is going to be drafted now for the most part is an underclassman without a degree. The NCAA knows that. The NFL knows that. The NBA knows that. Everybody seems to know that, except for those that's actually trusting the process and God's plan and getting your degree from this school and that school. That degree without true education does absolutely nothing for you in the business world of 2018. You can have the greatest alumni support in the world. At the end of the day, you can play a lot of sports. You can retire. They can want to hire you. But if you can't put a sentence together, you can't read, you can't write up your resume, they cannot and will not hire you. Sports is not a game. Sports is all business. What I'm telling you guys again, for the fact of the matter is, since only 25% of African American athletes who go to the Power 5 conferences graduate, and then people ask all the time, well, why do these kids think they all going pro? I'm going to give you a simple math equation. In football in particular, there's 100 players on the roster, usually 85 scholarships on the roster, have another 15 preferred walk-ons. In football in particular, you have the two deep play. Two deep means, again, 11 guys play on offense, 11 guys play on defense. That's 22. They have backups. That's another 22. Then you have about 5 or 6 guys that don't play on both sides and also on special teams, whether it's the punter or the kicker. That essentially breaks you down to 55 players that get on the field. The other so-called 44, whatever it may be, that's playing out there, that's getting the GPA up. They out there basically signing autographs and things like that and working on their alumni to have a future in their career. While the other guys who aren't getting paid are taking all the injury risk. They're the ones that are going out there to have to get hurt, and they all sit here, next man up. They still go to that class. They don't really give you your education that you're going to be successful. Again, the numbers, not one retired professional athlete is telling you to trust the process, God's plan, or focus on the game and everything and take care of itself. There's not one media outlet, there's not one collegiate outlet that's actually allowing you to get in front of those players. You guys spend 7 months and go give NCAA and coaches free marketing by doing videos and graphics and going to their lounges. And then at the end of the day, you turn around and you willing to sign an agreement that you haven't read or understood after 15 minutes. 15 minutes. If this was in your best interest in any business, it's impossible for you to operate that way. I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today. You're going to get scammed in front of your face and with a smile on your face, and then turn around because you trusted the process. Once again, any service provider, any coach, any official, any industry, if they don't have to explain what they're doing, you're going to make it that simple that you're going to do what they tell you to do when they tell you to do it just because the person before did it. Again, any athlete is telling you to trust the process, the one that actually fell for it, and now he's turning around and use it against you. Again, my former athletes, my teammates, my friends, my associates, please like and share this video to the families and the athletes that you know, because I'm sick and tired of seeing the same thing happen over and over and over again. Case in point, if I'm going to provide a service, you go to work this week. Everybody's going to work right now. Okay. So when you go to work, they're going to tell you that literally you're going to work this week, and you work. And after you work, we'll talk about, we did a training. So we're not going to pay you. We just taught you something. So you should be happy that you got that. Not going to give you a check. Or basically, like I said, after you do your work, we'll think about paying you. You got kids right now that's looking to get drafted this Thursday, this Friday, this Saturday. God bless them. Then you got people that they sign on with agencies that told them, oh yeah, you're going to be this. You're going to be a 3rd to a 5th round. You're going to be a 1st to a 3rd round. That wide range of anybody could tell that kid that. But yet you basically signed an agreement to compensate those people before 5 months ago for what's going to happen on Thursday with that free education you got. That is insane. Company like mine, an attorney, simply could have said, hey, if I'm going to be in the 1st round, if I end up in the 1st round, I will compensate you this, and that. That's what business people do. That's what professionals do. That's what successful entrepreneurs do. I'm not going to pay you something for 5 months before I figure out what's going to actually happen and then let it be dictated by somebody else's best interest. That's what you get for trusting the process. That's what you get for focusing on the game and everything and take care of itself. Yes, everything is everybody. Everybody that wants to work with you because you're going to provide value to them. If you don't know your own worth in the sports industry, then you're set up for failure from day one. Because people will keep taking until you don't have any more. Then you're looking at the ESPN 360 shows. There's a situation out there with one athlete. I don't need to name his name right now, but I'm going to give you the example. An athlete was asked by his agency, again, they got out in the media, to tell a team that's higher than the team he wanted to, that he don't want to go there. The agency wasn't willing to tell the team that, hey, we don't want our client to go to your team. Why? Because, again, that agency is going to be in this business longer than their actual player. So let's make the player the bad guy. What the player didn't realize, if he did do it, which he didn't, but if he did, once again, that one team that they were telling him not to go to would have cost him $4 million if he went to the next team. I mean, as a loss, $4 million loss. Secondarily speaking, the other place that they wanted this kid to go to has what they call a millionaire tax in the state versus the state where they didn't want the kid to go. So again, that's another loss for that kid. On top of that, again, now you have people looking at you that you're selfish, you don't want to do this, you don't want to do that. So now you hurt yourself again. And last but not least, with the new contracts and the 2018 tax reform, how agents cannot have their money, their fees being deducted. So now they're talking about marketing when they found a loophole in that. So again, now agents are raising up the marketing piece from like 15 to 20 to sometimes 30%, throwing words like perpetuity in there, which a kid never understood, which means for life. Giving them the right to use your perpetuity marketing license for life. Trust in the process. Focus on the game, everything take care of itself. That was not God's plan. And for those coaches out there that literally, again, what is a coach? It's too many people out there, and parents, I want to say this to you, and I mean it sincerely. Because a person got a name, the title coach behind his name, don't make them a coach. It doesn't make them a coach. Too many kids see coach and see him standing next to an athlete, take a picture with, and all of a sudden you give reverence to that guy like he's T.D. Jakes or somebody. There's a lot of people that want to be coaches using your kids to become one. Just going up the top of their head. The fact of the matter is this, it should be a standard of what you allow to work with certain athletes and kids. There's never been a great coach of a bad team. And what that is in simple English is that there's never been a good coach of anybody that didn't have good players. Period. Nick Saban is not taking the Villanova football team, is not taking Albany football team to the national championship or to the FCS national championship. It won't ever happen. So when everybody want to give Nick Saban credit for Anthony Avery, who's going to be drafted, and how he conducts himself as a professional, or Minka Fitzpatrick, instead of giving the credit to their parents or those actual kids, are you still giving Nick Saban the same credit for a Raekwon Davis for shooting himself in a bar before he become 21, or what's that guy named Reuben Foster, who's facing 11 years in prison? Are you going to give Nick Saban that same credit? Sports is not a game. It's all business. I'm going to go into depth more about the reality of the sports business and essential, where, again, some rules have changed yesterday regarding NCAA recruitment process. Again, guess what? It didn't involve the football and the basketball. Because why? Again, those are the people and the guys and the kids and the parents that generate the revenue. If you wonder why the NCAA hasn't said one word about LeVar Ball or anyone like LeVar Ball that is invested in themselves and their kids and themselves and not the industry, because there's a lot more to this stuff that you guys don't have any clue and idea, but yet you keep pushing these kids towards runners and AAU programs and showcases who literally are working with and for the same people who, when you're out of this business, they're going to still be there making money. You're going to be sitting there wondering what happened to me. Like I said, 0 to 5%. You trust the process. You focus on the game there to take care of itself. God's plan, your succession, your rate of success will be 0 to 5% in the sports industry. My name is Robert T. Green. I am the CEO of a company called Pre-Post Game. I am the player's rep here to educate and empower, protect the athlete and the family's best interest and theirs alone. I'm not here to protect the coaches. I'm not here to protect the industry. I'm not here to protect anybody but them. You can follow me here at the Players Rep on Facebook. You can follow me at the Players Rep 1 on Instagram, the Players Rep 1 on Twitter. Look forward to talking to you guys again soon. Like I said, congratulations to the families and the kids going to the NFL draft this Wednesday. Well, it's Thursday. Look forward to seeing you guys soon. God bless.